Tonight's sleep story is a quiet walk through an old night market, long after the crowds have gone home and the world has grown soft around the edges. You don't need to do anything right now. Just lie back and let your body get comfortable, and let this story play in the background of your mind. If you'd like, you can close your eyes or simply soften your gaze and let it blur. The day is over. Nothing is asking anything of you. This time is yours. Take one slow, gentle breath in and a long, easy breath out. Again, in and out. If the thoughts drift in, that's all right. They can wander through like passing strangers. You don't need to follow them. They're just part of the scenery of your mind. All you have to do is listen and let yourself drift. Let's begin. You find yourself standing at the edge of a night market, but it's not how you remember it from the busy evening hours. The crowds are gone, the music has faded, and sizzling grills are now quiet. Above you, a line of paper lanterns stretches between the pathway, hanging from wires that crisscross between buildings. Their light is dim but warm, glowing like little moons, each one wrapped in a soft halo of gold. The air is cool. You can feel it brushing gently against your skin, carrying faint traces of the day that has just ended. A whisper of grilled food, the sweetness of fruit, and the distant, clean smell of rain that might come later. You take your first step into the market. The sound of your footsteps is soft against the ground, a quiet rhythm that seems to settle you as you move. The stalls line each side like tiny, sleeping houses. Their shutters are pulled down, or their curtains are drawn, but here and there, a light still grows from within. You notice the calm. The night market, usually alive with noise and color and movement, has become something else. Not empty, not abandoned, just resting. You walk slowly, with no hurry at all. There's nowhere you have to be, no one waiting on you, nothing you need to do right now but wander. On your left, a stall that sold fresh fruit stands quietly. The color remains. Even in the low light, you can see a few crates stacked neatly on the counter. Oranges, bananas, and something deep red and glossy under a thin layer of plastic. A small, handwritten sign leans against a crate, the ink slightly smudged from a day of hands and weather. A single light bulb hangs overhead, not too bright, humming softly. It flickers every now and then, but never goes out. You pass it slowly, letting your eyes trace the details, not needing to remember any of them, just letting them wash past like scenery outside a train window. Your feet carry you forward. To your right, a stall filled with trinkets catches your eye. Beads and keychains hang from hooks, gently turning in the faint breeze. Even now, with the market closed, a few of them still move slightly, like they are remembering the touch of people who picked them up earlier that evening. Metallic charms tap together with the tiniest sound, a soft, irregular chime, like distant raindrops on glass. You picture the vendor closing up for the night, arranging things just so they'll be ready for tomorrow. There's something calming in that thought. The slow, ordinary cycle of opening and closing, beginning and ending, day turning into night, and night into day again. You keep walking. Farther ahead, the path becomes narrower, and the lanterns hang a little lower overhead. Some of them are red, some white, some with faded patterns that look like flowers or clouds or simple brush strokes. You walk beneath them, and their warm light brushes the top of your head, your shoulders, and the ground around your feet. The shadows here are soft and gentle. Nothing is sharp. Nothing is urgent. You can hear the quiet murmur of the city beyond the market. A distant car, the faint hint of a closing shop, the low hum of something electrical somewhere out of sight. But here, between the sleeping stalls, it feels like you've stepped into a small pocket of stillness, a place almost outside of time. You take another slow breath, letting your chest rise and fall comfortably. Your body may already be growing heavier, more relaxed. If it is, that's perfectly okay. You pass a stall that sold drinks. Glass bottles are stacked in neat rows inside a refrigerated case that's now turned off, its quiet buzzing replaced by silence. A few droplets of condensation cling to the glass panes, slowly sliding down in lazy, shining trails. On the counter above, there's a stack of paper cups, carefully aligned. A small napkin dispenser waits beside them. You notice the simplicity of it all, the lined-up cups, the tidy arrangement, the empty space where busy hands once moved. You imagine the day that has just ended. People lining up, picking flavors, straws being unwrapped, coins changing hands. Now, all of that is wrapped in the gentle hush of night. Your steps carry you past a stall that smells faintly of spices. The vendor is gone, but a few glass jars still sit on the shelves at the back, their lids firmly closed. Inside them, deep earthly colors, red, browns, golds, and oranges, each one a flavor a mastery, a piece of someone's cooking waiting for tomorrow. For a moment, you stand still and just listen. The market breathes in its own way, not with sound, but with atmosphere, with the sense that it has lived through another day and is finally allowed to rest. You move on. Ahead, the pathway opens into a slightly wider space where earlier in the evening the crowd would have gathered. You can picture it without effort. Laughter, conversations, the overlapping music of different speakers playing different songs. Now it's just you and the quiet and the soft glow of lanterns. At the center of the space, there's a wooden bench, worn smooth with time, facing a stall whose lights are still on. You walk toward it, letting your body enjoy the idea of sitting, of not needing to go anywhere at all. You sit down slowly, feeling the gentle firmness of the wood beneath you, supporting your weight easily. The bench doesn't creak, it simply holds you. In front of you, the last open stall of the night is not quite open and not quite closed. Its owner has left a small lamp on inside, casting a warm pool of light over the counter. On top of it, there are books. Not many, just a short stack. Their covers are slightly curled from being handled, pages bending at the corners. You can't quite read the titles from where you sit, and you don't need to. You're not here to choose or decide. You're just here to observe, gently, like watching clouds move. Somewhere overhead, a lantern sways just a little more than the others, making its light slowly rock back and forth across the ground, like the motion of a small boat on a calm sea. You watch that gentle moment, back and forth, back and forth. Your breathing matches the rhythm without trying. In and out, in and out. You might notice your body sinking a little deeper into relaxation. Your shoulders a little looser, your arms a bit heavier. If your eyes are still open, they may feel heavier too. And if they close, that's perfectly fine. You're safe here. The night market is kind and quiet. Nothing asks anything of you. When you're ready, you rise from the bench and begin to walk again, further into the market. As you move on, you pass a stall that sold handmade candles. The shelves are filled with wax in different shapes and sizes. Tall, slender ones, small, round ones like little moons, a few carved with patterns of leaves and waves. Most of them are wrapped in plastic, but a few are not, and the soft scent of vanilla, lavender, and something like sandalwood hangs faintly in the air. You imagine what the market would look like if every candle here were lit at once, a sea of warm flames flickering gently, filling the night with light. But instead, they rest, waiting. There's comfort in that waiting. The idea that same things don't need to happen right now. That it's okay for them to exist quietly in their own time. You continue walking, and the ground shifts slightly beneath your feet, from smooth pavement to worn stone, uneven in places. You adjust your step naturally, not in a hurry, letting the slight change in texture bring your attention gently back into your body. You pass an old fan mounted above the entrance to a stall, turned off now. You can almost imagine the sound it made earlier, spinning lazily as people moved in and out, pushing arm air around. Now it just rests, laid still, the metal catching a soft glint of lantern light. Farther on, you notice a string of small, colored lights, green, blue, and yellow, draped around a stall that sold toys. They are still on, glowing faintly, casting small pools of color across boxes and shelves. A row of stuffed animals sits at the front, a bear, a rabbit, something that looks like a fox. Their stitched eyes seem to gaze out into the quiet market, watching over it in their own soft way. You don't need to pick anything up. You just let your eyes drift gently across each shape, each color, each quiet little detail that doesn't demand attention. It simply accepts it if you want to give it. This is the nature of this place now. Nothing is insistent. Nothing is urgent. You noticed how your mind feels in this slower pace. Perhaps thoughts are stretching out, growing softer, or simply floating by without catching. You walk on. The night sky above the market is a deep, velvety blue-black. Between the hanging lanterns and wires, you can see small patches of stars, calm and unmoving. They feel distant, but not unreachable, just higher up in the same gentle universe you're walking through. You pass another food stall, this one with long wooden skewers laid neatly on a tray, ready for tomorrow. A metal grill sits behind it, cool and silent. Nearby, a small basin and a folded towel wait to be used again. Everything is prepared for another day. But tonight, all of it is at rest. It reminds you, quietly, that rest is not a failure or an interruption. It's simply part of the rhythm, part of the cycle. You too are allowed to rest, to close the shutters of your mind for a while, to dim the lights of constant thinking, planning, worrying. You walk a little farther and come to a small intersection where 3 narrow paths branch off. One to the left, where the lanterns are spaced wider apart. One to the right, where the market seems to curve gently out of sight. And one straight ahead, lined with stalls that seem to grow smaller and closer together. You don't need to decide. There's no wrong direction here. But in your mind, you choose the path that feels lightest. Perhaps you turn left, stepping into a slightly darker stretch of the market where the lanterns are further apart and the shadows deepen. The darkness here isn't frightening, though. It's soft, like a blanket being pulled gently up over the world. As you walk, you notice small details that emerge slowly. A chalk drawing on the ground that a child must have made earlier in the evening, now faint and smudged. A single leaf that has drifted across the market floor, catching a line of light along its edge. The faint reflection of lanterns in a puddle left from an earlier sprinkle of rain. Your thoughts, if they appear, can be like those lantern reflections. There for a moment, gentle and shimmering, then dissolving again as you move on. You may be feeling heavier now, your limbs softer, your breathing steady, like a tide that knows exactly when to come in and when to drift back out. The path ahead gently slopes downward, taking you with it at an easy pace, like a small hill, guiding you toward the end of the market. Along the wall, you see posters for performances and events, some past, some still to come. The images are slightly faded. The corners are curled, but they speak of music, food festivals, community nights, little moments where people come together. Tonight, though, the posters simply hang, quietly, saying nothing, just being there. Not asking to be read, not insisting on anything. You walk beside them, noticing them, and then letting them go. Eventually, the path begins to widen again, and you feel the night market gently letting you go, like a host walking you to the door after a long and pleasant evening. In the distance, at the far end of the market, you can see an archway where the lanterns end. Beyond it, the city continues. More streets, more lights, more life. But it feels far away and unnecessary for now. Before you reach the archway, you pause a moment and turn around, taking one last look back through the market. From here, It's a quiet river of lantern light and shadows, stretching backward into the gentle blur of distance. All the stalls you passed, the fruit stand, the drink stand, the trinkets and toys, the spices, the books, the candles, are now part of a soft, continuous memory, blending into one another. You feel a simple, resting gratitude for this place, for its calm, for its stillness, for the reminder that even busy places, even busy minds, can be quiet when the day is done. You take a slow, deep breath in and let it drift out, like an exhale that belongs not just to you, but to the whole market. You turn back toward the archway and pass beneath it. On the other side, the world continues, but softer now. Your body feels heavier, ready to sink into rest. Your thoughts looser, like lanterns drifting away down a dark, gentle river. The night market is behind you, but its quiet remains with you. Its slow, easy rhythm lingering in your breath, in the weight of your eyelids, in the looseness of your hands and feet. There's nothing left to do, nothing to fix, nothing to salve tonight. You have walked through the market after closing, in a world that has agreed to rest with you. And now, if sleep wants to come, you can simply let it. You can let your mind drift, like the last lantern at the far end of the market, swaying gently, softly, in the quiet night air, until it all fades into peaceful, comfortable